at the third day of the Tokyo Game Show, I'm at a very special guy, a professional fighting games player from America, Mike Ross. Thanks for being here with me.
Hey, thanks for having me. I get to talk to you and Poland and whoever else is watching.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to start with some basic questions. So, how'd your adventure with fighting games started?
Oh man, well it started back in high school, and actually a little bit before high school, and that's because I used to walk home from school, and it was about a 15-minute walk, 20-minute walk, and on the way home I would pass by a donut shop that had X-Men versus Street Fighter there. And I mean, I was playing fighting games before that, but I didn't take it seriously. That was the only time, because I was bored and I would play and the game was fun. I was terrible. Some may argue that I'm still terrible. That's okay. That's okay. But in high school, that's when Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out for me, and that's when I started taking that seriously. That's when I started to travel, and by travel, I mean driving 30 minutes to an event, and the rest is history. I've been playing competitively ever since.
Okay. How's that most of the fighting game players say that they started like when they were going to arcades, you know? Why is that?
It's true, yeah, like, well, for me, like I technically started playing fighting games since Street Fighter 2 when that hit the arcades in the early days. Again, I was a kid. I was hooked to it, but I wasn't any good. I mean, I don't even know what good was back then. Nobody knew what good was, except Tomo, Mike Watson, those guys. But outside of that, it's like we just played for fun. I didn't take it seriously until high school.
Yeah, okay. So that was the time when the people were going to arcades, like give their money to the machines to play, and now you can just buy the game mostly, sit at home and play competitively by the internet. So how the fighting game community overall changed by this evolve of the gaming?
It's gotten stronger because of that. People don't need to physically leave their house and go to an arcade to meet up with people, and practice. Now they can just sit right at home and play against. I could play you from my house, in California, and play you in Poland, or wherever if you're staying here another week, play you from Tokyo. So it's just so crazy. And because of that, everybody's gotten better, because you can share knowledge and you can play with people in cases where you couldn't 10 years ago.
So tell me something about your games and your games of choice and your play style of choice, because that what differs from player to player.
Well, for me, because let's take fighting games for example, and Street Fighter. Yeah. I always wanted to beat people by outsmarting them, but that's what everybody does that plays the game, right? But because that's what I wanted to do, I may not have been that good at it back in the day. Then I met a guy named Combo Fiend who plays Street Fighter, and he kind of, took me under his wing without intentionally trying to do it. But he beat me so bad and named everything I was going to do before I did it. I said, how is he in my head? How is he that smart? And then because I studied from him, I'm able to do that with other players now. So that's my style. I like to get in your head and make you just go crazy when I'm playing.
So as we were speaking before, it's not like, you said that it's not like the professional player is a player who wins every time.
Right.
You're making the YouTube show called Excellent Adventures, where you're playing some random people who often beat you very badly. How does it feel, and what pro tips do you have for amateur players so they don't discourage easily?
Yeah, one of the things, the points I always, I think that Excellent Adventures, the show, makes, is it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how good you might be, anybody can lose when you're playing, from the comfort of your own home. It's all how you feel any given day. Tournament setting is totally different. People get nervous in tournaments. I do not get that nervous, and a lot of other pro players don't get nervous, but in the casual environment, people are comfortable, and anybody can beat anybody, and we just have fun with it. So if you're a casual player and you're losing, do not get discouraged. Everybody loses. Everybody loses.
So the last question, I think, um, what do you think that the fighting game community will bring us in like the nearest future?
Oh God, you don't want to know the answer to that question. From what I can say, is that fighting games are going to be bigger than they've ever been. Yeah, like without question, they're going to be bigger than they've ever been to any of our knowledge. Everybody that knows fighting games right now is a part of a small community. You know, it's a large number, but it's still a relatively small community compared to, let's say, League of Legends and stuff like that. You know, but in the future, that number is going to grow a lot because, you know, I'm working at Twitch, you know, Capcom is doing their stuff, and we are working hard together to make sure that we are pushing out the best product for everybody and that is the most entertaining thing that they've seen. And I guarantee you that the fighting game community is not ready for the stuff that's coming out pretty soon.
It's like very, very interesting because the fighting games, like after Street Fighter 3, they died for like few years.
Street Fighter 3 died for like what, 10 years. You know, there wasn't. I mean, they had other kind of games, but it didn't. Nothing brought back fighting games like Street Fighter 4 did. And all I can, you know, we're doing the Capcom Pro Tour. That's going really well, and I promise you and everybody watching that the Capcom Pro Tour is only going to get better from here on out.
Great. Thank you for your time. It was great having
so
it.
much, man. Thank you so much.